So you've purchased the Straker Nutrition Co. macro reporting and check-in template, and you might be a little bit confused around where to get started. Perfectly fine. This is why I put this video together, to make it very straightforward on exactly what you need to be doing. So first, there's the 5 or 6 different tabs that we have down here. I want to be very straightforward that this first Start Here tab is just purely instruction, right? So this is the YouTube demo. This is going to be a link to if you would like to update your date format instead of month, day, like it's currently set up. If you're international and want to put the days first, like is your month and your day date format, this is a video on how exactly you can do that. So first you're going to make your copies, very straightforward there, and then it's going to be broken down by each of the different sheets at the bottom here. So this first approximate maintenance calorie sheet, this is a standalone sheet. This does not have any references to the other sheets, and you can delete this completely if you don't need it, or you can also hide it as well. So hide sheet can work right there. I've recently updated this to use the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation for basal metabolic rate, and then the Harris-Benedict equation for TDEE. So those are just the most recent and widely accepted estimates for a majority of people. So you can run through here. This is very self-explanatory. Hit some of the drop downs to change these numbers in here. So if I would change this to male, it's going to reflect based on the equation. Very straightforward. But again, this is not necessary for working with your client. You can delete this, hide this. Same thing with the Start Here. Once you understand it, you can delete both of these. Now these 4 sheets here, tracking sheet, weekly reports, reporting, and macro timing have references to each other, so I would highly recommend not deleting those. You can, if you're, let's say your client isn't ready for macronutrient timing or calorie partitioning, you can easily hide this. So come in here, let me make the video smaller, move it over, come in here, hide, and there we go. You don't need to hide it. You can hit OK, and then that will get hidden. Not any problems there. And if you ever want to unhide it, view, hidden sheets, macro timing. Let's turn that guy off for now, and it's going to pop right back. So starting here with the macro timing sheet, this is the tracking sheet. This is where your client will spend the majority of the time in here. Coming through here, putting in their weights, putting in their macronutrients, adding their fiber, sleep. So if you click in any of these, you notice that it doesn't have any value. There's no formula up here in the formula bar, so I can put anything I want here, 150 for example. If I were to click in here, you see that it's a reference. So meaning that the source comes from somewhere else. All of these are references up here. So if you want to set your client's training day macros or rest day macros for a given week, you do not do that here. I also have this little note here. Do not modify these cells directly in here. Click here to update. If I click in here, it's going to bring me to this weekly report sheet, and it highlights for me, hey, you make these changes here. So I can come in here. Let's say I want to just make these all same just to demonstrate the difference. And it's going to update those because I just updated these 3. The calories, again, it has a formula. Generally, it's safe to say if there is a formula, you do not want to override it, but that is a decent rule of thumb. The fiber here I have set up as a coefficient of total calories, 14%. If you want to manually change and assign your client's fiber, you are more than welcome to do so. And then again, these protein, carbohydrate, and fat distributions are all calculated from the distributions that you provide here. So that is where you would assign your clients macros for a given week so that they can see it front and center at the top of the page. Now, when a client is completing a check-in, what I would recommend doing is coming in here, copying these numbers here, and then pasting them here so you have them for historical data. So you can see, of course, this will then show you those 7-day averages, which get calculated from the tracking sheet for these first 7 days. It will basically give you a historical breakdown of how adherent your client was to the numbers that you had provided them. And then the client can come in here. So you as a coach would modify these few cells here just to set the client's historical macros. Obviously the averages get auto-populated. The client's weights and dates get auto-populated. The client can give themselves a grading on just the subjective rating of how the week went, can add any of their notes, and then of course upload front, profile, and rear photos. And that is generally what this, the workflow of how I would recommend using this week to week. The longer and more data you have in the sheet from your client, the better that the graphing and trends will get. And then again, the macronutrient timing, you can come in here and select how many meals you prefer to eat or your client prefers to eat for, let's say, a given training day, and then on rest days as well, and it will modify these numbers based on that. So right now they're all populated because I have 6 up here. Let's say I bring that down to 4. You will see that then it gives me some changes to my kind of most optimal situations for hitting those numbers. And then meal frequency on the rest day is broken off of this number here. And then over here we have carbohydrate and fat weights. So for clients who would like to have more carbohydrates closer to their training window, you can modify that here. So you can go up to 70% just within the pre and post workout window, or down to 60%, and then with the fat you can kind of weight those as well. So these are more just your kind of perfect example type of situations. Then I have the defaults I have set here. So pretty straightforward, but it can be a little bit confusing if you're just brand new to it. So I wanted to put this video together to walk you through exactly where to make the changes, and also to have a reference point to come back if you ever get confused.